That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, what I believe is the fourth feature directed by Andrew Bowser, which premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. It is being released on October 19th, 2023, courtesy of XYZ Films.
The writer, director, star, he's popular on YouTube and TikTok.
Yes, sir.
I hadn't heard of him before, but I liked him. I think he's fun and cute.
He reminded me a bit of a mix between like a Tyler Labine and Jack Black.
Okay.
But yeah, sure.
What are the names of his other movies?
Worm from 2013, and then I'm not sure previous to that.
Okay. So this movie is about fledgling occultist Onyx and a group of worshippers attending a once-in-a-lifetime ritual at their idol BARTOK the Great's mansion. What's your pull quote?
A cutesy mishmash of tones and tropes from YouTube and TikTok notable Andrew Bowser often seems like it was more fun to make than watch. But despite the monotonous persona of the lead star, a stellar supporting cast goes a long way in pushing us along through the overly complicated plotting.
Mine is, if Elvira birthing Pee Wee Herman and banishing him to Comic-Con for all eternity sounds appealing to you, you'll find this film enjoyable enough.
How apt.
The word I would use to describe this film is cute.
Cute. I think it shouldn't be as long as it is.
It is obvious a lot of work went into it.
Mm-hmm.
It appears like every single person involved was having fun, which is a pleasure to watch.
Of course, yeah.
So overall, I just thought it was cute.
The practical effects are impressive. I think everything is impressive, and nothing really wrong with Andrew Bowser, but I think with this persona that heretofore was meant in short form availability, stretching that as the lead character that everything's pinned upon, it's just a lot. There's no ups and downs.
Because as a sci-fi fantasy film, it's just not big enough to support that, right? Like,
no.
It doesn't have the... And as a comedy, there are no jokes. It's just that everyone involved is having fun. The lead character clearly, like, as a writer, has a sense of humor, and it's weird, and which I like, but there are no jokes. And then I kept thinking, like Elvira's first movie, there are a lot of pa-dum-pa-dums in there. So I think, aside from having a very big personality with Elvira, we do get like straight up jokes, like punchlines. So this movie isn't particularly funny, but there's enough going on as far as the fantasy component that when you put it all together, it's a nice little package.
Sure, it's just that nothing really pops for me.
So the main character, Marcus, played by Andrew Bowser. So he appears to be like maybe in his early 30s. He's a virgin. He works flipping burgers, as we're told, and see. He lives at home with his mom and his stepfather. I think he's supposed to seem kind of like a loser nerd. I don't know.
Arrested Development a little bit.
Yeah. And he is obsessed with this figure named BARTOK the Great, who's like an occult leader. He's had records, books. He's quite popular.
I'm assuming he's fashioned after somebody like Anton LaVey.
Oh.
Because that's how he also looks.
Oh, okay. So, of course, Marcus would love to meet him. And Marcus has an alter ego named Onyx the Fortuitous. So Marcus finds out that BARTOK is holding like a contest where 5 of his followers / fans can participate in a ritual at his mansion.
A once-in-a-lifetime demonic one.
Yep. So Marcus makes like almost like a RuPaul's Drag Race audition tape. That's the opening of the film. And he gets selected, which also coincides with when he quits his job because he's being bullied at the hamburger stand. So he gets there, and there are 4 other people, so 5 total. And we find out that this ritual is not like a marketing gimmick. BARTOK and his minion Farrah are really trying to basically like conjure like all the evil power. I mean, how would you describe it? Like,
Well, it sounds like BARTOK wants to, whatever the ritual, he's going to have
like the all-powerful leader of hell or something.
Basically, and all access to all these souls that which will generate this power for him. etc.
But in order to do that, he needs 5 souls. And he knows this because there's a book called...
The Book of Grimur,
And so
which means Book of Souls, I think.
he needs 5 particular people. So that's why the 5 who were chosen.
Sorry, not Book of Souls. I think that Grimur, I think that word literally means like spells.
Oh. And we're told that if he can get those souls using like a talisman to stab them, if he can do that, then it will summon this other like demon named Avalon, which
Abamon.
which if that demon is defeated, then whomever does it gets like everlasting life and power.
Or as Gloria Stefan saying, everlasting love.
So of course that's Bartok's goal, which is the goal of every villain in every movie, right? So the 5 people are slowly like their soul, like each one is plucked off and their souls are taken and they turn into like if Mars Attacks had zombies. And the final one standing is Marcus. But we find out earlier in the film because one of the characters, Mr. Duke, played by T.C. Carson, he's like really into like different religions and he can read lots of different languages. And so he's very interested in Bartok for that reason. He discovers that there is a figure named Onyx the Fortuitous who can stop this. And then they're like, oh my gosh, that's Marcus. Like that's his alter ego. It was meant that he stopped this.
It was fortuitous.
It was fortuitous that Onyx the Fortuitous would stop this. So Marcus/Onyx is the last one standing. He does defeat Bartok. But then in like a double climax, Farrah, Bartok's minion, says, well, we can still complete the spell because we've defeated like all parties. So if we have sex, which is a plot point because Marcus is a virgin, then they can have like all the power in hell and be together. But Marcus says, no, I'm good. I want to stay here with my friends. So the end of the film is now everything's nice and pretty again. And all 5 of them live in this mansion, happily ever after.
Mm-hmm. But all a little bit transfigured from their experience.
Because we find out each one, like they were chosen for a reason and they have these alter egos, like a werewolf or a witch. So
A queen.
Which kind of reminded me of that movie with Charlize Theron.
The School for Good and Evil.
Kind of.
That was Kaka.
It was. I can just go through my notes.
Let's do it.
Marcus's mom is played by
the great Barbara Crampton, who's only in 2 scenes, but notably this reunites her with Jeffrey Combs, who's Bartok the Great, because both of them are alums of Stuart Gordon's filmography from the 80s, such as Reanimator and From Beyond.
Do I know her from Jacob's Wife?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Which
I can't believe I remember that.
Yeah, I think she looks great. I wish she'd been utilized more. She doesn't have anything to do.
So the opening of the film is Marcus's Drag Race audition tape, which I thought was cute. So for people who don't know this character, which I didn't, he has like a way of speaking that does get a little tedious after a while.
If you close your eyes, he sounds exactly like a character that Bruce McCullough did a lot, or a voice that Bruce McCullough did a lot in Kids in the Hall. He sounds just like that.
Yes, actually, I do recall that.
The enunciations, yes.
But I like it. He's cute. But so he's doing that thing, and then we see him at work being bullied. Then we see him at home with his mom and stepdad, and the stepdad can't stand his ass. So it was a strong start. I think where things started to get a little flat is when we get to the mansion, and then all 5 people are talking about why they're there. I felt like that felt bloated because they were selected.
Yeah, we don't need to. It doesn't.
So who cares?
It doesn't matter because
you won a lottery.
With the mechanism of this narrative you've seen, you could come up with so many examples of what this is like. A bunch of strangers coming together to an old dark house. I mean,
the Vincent Price movie.
House on Haunted Hill is exactly like that.
But getting back to the burger stand, he's being picked on. Like his coworker doesn't like him. His boss apparently doesn't like him. There are customers who bully him. He's worked there for 6 years and his name tag is not correct. His name tag says like Marquay Dickberry, which is not his name. Mm-hmm. And he's been wearing that for 6 years. And he says, can I get a correct name badge? I've been asking for one forever. And the manager's like, go in the junk drawer and find one. So he finds one that says Pussy Hound. I thought that was funny. Then the bullies get at him because apparently on Fridays, if a customer doesn't get their food in 5 minutes, it's free. So these bullies show up and order like a dozen combo meals, which of course Marcus is not successful in producing in 5 minutes.
And his coworker doesn't help him.
There are a lot of really cute little things.
Sure.
And that's what I appreciated, is like clearly a lot of work went into this script. And
There was, and to the effects. And again, like you said earlier, it seems like everybody's having fun, which goes a lot towards making this palatable. Because if it hadn't been, if the supporting cast had been kind of just all these generic looking Los Angeles stock types, then it would have been boring.
so the 5 people, so Mr. Duke, T.C. Carson, he's an academic, and I thought he did a really good job. He was very likable, and he's there because he believes in like evil, like evil, and he believes that Bartok communes with the devil. So that's why he's there, because he wants to witness that. Then there's a character named Shelley, played by
Arden Myrin, who you've seen her in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with who she is. She's really cute. She's there because she started worshiping the devil after her husband was killed in like a drunk driving accident. But then we get like this other character named Jesminder, who I did think was cute.
Melanie Chandra.
But her reason for being there is like she just likes Bartok, which is obvious. You entered this contest. And the same with Mack.
Rivkah Reyes,
who says she's like gender non-conforming or non-binary, and she's there just because she's into Bartok.
Yeah, those two feel underdeveloped in comparison.
Yeah, it feels like they ran out of steam for why these characters are there, and then of course we know Onyx / Marcus is there because he worships Bartok.
I just wish the energy should have felt once they got there, or in my opinion, something like Nothing But Trouble.
Yes.
Which of course that was a flop when it came out, but that I find to be a very enjoyable film.
Bartok's minion Farrah, she has some interesting hair.
Olivia Taylor Dudley, who also helped, I believe, write and produce.
She reads the 5 people's palms, but she starts by cutting their palms to draw blood, and that's when she tells them like what their like spirit is or whatever. We get
what their archetype is.
Their archetype, that was the word. And then we get an explanation as to what the ritual is for. So it's funny because it's like not a joke. Like they're really trying to summon like all the powers of hell. But there is a moment when Marcus gets stressed out and he has to smoke a cigarette. I thought that was a really cute scene.
There are cute moments.
And then because he witnesses Bartok steal the soul of the first of the 5. So Mr. Duke is asking him, can you describe or like, can you draw what you saw? And like, what was the ritual they chanted? So I can like reference it in one of my books. And I thought it was really cute because Marcus is like smoking the cigarette all stressed out, talking about how he's a virgin. And then he sketches the drawing, and then Mr. Duke is saying, well, what was the ritual? He's like, Scooby-Doo, Abba-Dabba-Doo. And then when we see the drawing he wrote, it says like doo-doo-da-da, and then it looks like he drew a piece of shit. Things like that were funny to me.
And T.C. Carson goes, that's the knife of Dagon, which is the Lovecraft story.
Yeah. Oh, then Bartok, who's played by...
Oh, he's my favorite part. That's Jeffrey Combs from Reanimator.
I thought he was funny. And then at one point, just randomly, we see him working out in his underwear to this like fitness tape that's saying, keeping it beefy. So stupid. I like that. The practical effects, the first time we see them is there's this little demon in a box.
That was pretty good.
That basically it almost is like Scientology, where you tell it a secret that it can use as blackmail, and then it will answer a question for you. So everyone goes in and they're kind of like under a spell, which is what they're all also wearing, these necklaces with like this green stone that is basically keeping them under Bartok's control.
Peridot.
But early on, Marcus takes his off, so he's not susceptible to all of the influence. But it's this little creature in a box that kind of looks like something from like the Muppet Show.
Or yeah, about all those great films from the 80s with practical effects, Dark Crystal and puppetry.
Yes, I thought it looked really good. But the secret Marcus tells the little demon is that I have sexual fantasies. But then when he describes his fantasy, it's like, oh, I write fan fiction where someone's playing with my wiener. So it's very benign. But so the demon goes, oh, okay. And I thought the demon was really funny because you can tell the demon's getting excited, but ultimately
Tell me more.
The story's not that exciting. But the truth Marcus wants is why his dad left his mother and he. And that demon goes because of you. You couldn't keep him there. You weren't good enough. I thought that was cold.
Well, that's how those entities work.
But I kind of thought that was the best scene of the film.
Yeah, where everything kind of coalesces. It's like, oh, this is what the vibe we want.
Yes, because after Marcus gets that horrible news, this fool takes a huge bottle of absinthe and starts chugging it. And then he ends up having like a fever dream where Farrah is in his dream trying to influence him because she's saying, I'll like be your love slave if you just do this one thing for me. And then all of a sudden, Marcus, we get like this music video for I will do everything for love, but I won't do that.
I will do anything.
Or anything.
The meatloaf, because it's referenced earlier.
It is.
The music video.
And then Marcus's makeup is almost like if Meatloaf were a werewolf.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cute.
Yep. That was, to me, that was the best part of the film. But
then at the end, when Marcus is relegated to having to save everyone, Mr. Duke is trying to explain to him, like, I'm pretty sure you are Onyx the Fortuitous, but if you're not, this is what will happen. And he's describing, like, you'll fall to the depths of hell and you'll feel every inch of it and you'll be awake. I thought that was really good writing. Like Mr. Duke describing how awful it'll be if Marcus is not really the chosen one. The final scene of the movie mimics Beetlejuice.
Mm-hmm. With Belafonte. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there are a lot of references. I think it looks really nice for what I'm assuming was a very tight budget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What would you give this movie?
2.5. The craftsmanship behind it is very impressive, and how it all came together because this was funded through a Kickstarter. So, I mean, more power to it. But I also thought that it kind of hits a wall in more than one point, narratively.
I would give it 2.5 out of 5 as well. I thought it was fine, cute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hit the thanks button. Listen to our podcast. Bye.